This is the 5v5 air raids take on the traditional air raid play, Y cross. So we're going to start out, it's one of the more straightforward plays that we have. It leads off our 20 series, 21, 22, 23 series, all plays that kind of complement each other and build off of each other, but this is the basis for those. So we're going to start out in our base formation. So just like we always are, two receivers to the right, one receiver out here to the left. Blue is our center tight end, orange is the wide receiver, purple is the wide receiver, and we have green in the slot with a quarterback playing in the shotgun. So pretty straightforward on these routes. We don't get too tricky. This is one of those plays that you run, and if it works, that's great. If it doesn't work, it's likely showing you something that sets up another play. So outside, we start with an outside releasing fade or go route. So this orange receiver is going to run just outside the outside shoulder of the cornerback who's defending him and get deep as fast as he can, looking for the ball at about 7 to 9 yards. Blue here is going to run a flat route to about 5 yards. All right, so these two, this is going deep as you can get. They're setting a boundary of deep and shallow, and then green is going to run, this is the deep crossing route to 10 yards to set up some nice spacing here that can be equally effective against a man coverage or a zone coverage. So 5 yards depth from blue, 10 yards depth from green, unlimited depth from the orange receiver on the outside, and then we have a backside post from the purple receiver. So that's it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Now I'm going to go into how this attacks the various coverages that you're going to see. So if you've seen any of our other videos, you know that typically flag football, especially at the youth level, there's really only 4 defenses that you're going to come up across. There's 3 zone coverages, cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, and a man-to-man coverage. So with deep cross, number 21 attacks those zones especially well. Let's take a look and start with cover 3. So we got a safety in the middle, a safety over here, and a safety over there. Linebackers are likely right here, kind of splitting the field. And we've got, again, our zones splitting at 10 yards. So everything shallower than 10 is covered by the linebackers, everything deeper is covered by the safeties. Safeties split it into thirds, linebackers split it in half. So you can kind of see where everyone is responsible for guarding and where this might open up some options for your offense. So if we're looking for open grass, a place to fill with the receiver and put the football, everything's moving this way. And we treat this, we're training our quarterbacks, conditioning them to look at this from deep to shallow unless they see something very obvious. If a very obvious piece of grass is wide open and we've got a receiver in it, hit the throw. Doesn't matter where he is. But what we would like to do is look, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. And this is our read progression. Some NFL quarterback coaches call this deep, dig, dump. So we're going deep, we're hitting the dig route, or we're dumping it off to the safety valve. So that's how we like to train our quarterbacks to look, because if the deep route's there, we're going to take it. We want 15 yards every time. We'll take 10 next, and then we'll settle for 5 if we need it. Hope this guy's athletic enough to make somebody miss and turn that 5-yard catch into a 10-yard gain or more. So that's what we're looking for as far as the progressions. Where are the holes in this defense? How do we put our quarterback in a situation where they kind of know where that open man's going to be before they even call for the snap of the ball? So against the cover 3, they've got 3 deep folks. So that means this is likely covered by this safety. This is likely covered by both of these safeties. So that leaves these 2 routes, blue and green. Now, the exciting thing, we miss out on the deep throw here, but the exciting thing is we've only got 1 defender that's capable of covering those 2 people. So that math works in our favor. 2 versus 1, we're just going to go to whatever patch of grass this linebacker doesn't fill. So if if they backpedal with green, they're back here. So they go back here. That opens up this patch of grass right here that's wide open for an easy completion. Same thing going the other direction. And this is actually what we found is most likely is this green route is a little delayed because they're coming from the other end of the field. And a kid's not going to wait and sit in their zone to wait to see if this person comes across the field or not. If blue goes this way immediately at the snap, you're just going to run with them and come down and cover that person, which is really nice because it opens up one of our better athletes at the green position with a huge patch of grass right here, because the safety's bailed out with a deep route, they're covering the short route, and that should be open for you every time. So, a couple of options. It's a really good just introductory play. It's a good first down play to see if you can get a big chunk right off the bat, something that's not a high risk against the cover 3. So against the cover 2 though, your options open up a bit. Get this all cleaned off. All right. Okay. Against the cover 2, we've got the 2 deep safeties instead of 3. Linebacker right here that's typically blitzing. Cornerbacks on the outside. And there we go, that's cover 2. So again, this is, unfortunately, we don't have a deep option if the defense plays sound assignment football and they're able to run with us. That's okay, because not every play has to be a home run. We need singles and doubles as well. So these zones, again, with cover 2, look like this. And the safeties split the deep zone of the field, which means that this safety is likely running with your purple receiver, and this safety is likely coming over here to run with the orange receiver. Which leaves only, if he's blitzing in the middle, only the 2 cornerbacks, this one and that one, are available in coverage, shallow. So because everybody's running this way, that pretty much eliminates this cornerback. So you don't have anybody he's covering, and puts you in another situation where this single defender has to guard 1, 2 offensive players. So you got 2 routes running at 1 person. They will have to choose. It will open up a big patch of grass, and it's the exact same read as it was against cover 3, just moved out a little bit. So if the cornerback jumps up here, all your open grass is right here. If the corner sits at home or dives towards where the center is coming from, then your open grass is going to be right in here. So, should be an easy completion. Your quarterback's probably throwing the ball 15 yards total in the air, 10 yards total to hit the blue receiver. It's a really easy completion, basically like an extended handoff, getting the ball downfield as quick as you can, get in the hands of a playmaker so they can go make plays. Okay. Now the story changes. I'm just going to clear this all the way off. Story changes a little bit when you're up against the cover 1 zone, because this gives us an opportunity, thanks to the single high safety, where we're going to be able to air it out a little bit. We can throw it deep if it's open. Okay, there's our play. Single high safety. There's the line for the deep zone. Here's a line for the shallow zones. And that's who's got what, who's defending what. So as you can see, we've got a single safety, and it's really hard for a single safety to guard two routes on two halves of the field. So we put them in a situation where they have to make a choice, and wherever they make that choice, we make sure it's the wrong choice because our quarterback's looking for open grass, sees the safety fill that grass, throws it to the wide open grass on the other side, or vice versa. So safety goes that way to cover the post. Right there at about 15 yards or so is where we're completing that pass. Okay. Now let's look at the underneath zones just to finish out the exercise. It's going to be tough for us to make a completion underneath. So this is almost forcing us to go deep into cover one, which is exactly what they're doing with this defense. This defense, as a play caller and a coach, tells me that I have not shown them enough to make them respect my quarterback's arm and my ability to threaten them with a deep ball. So it's almost asking me to throw it deep just to prove that I can, even if you don't complete it, just to prove that you can. Because if you don't try to throw it deep and you just try to chip away a little bit at a time, you don't have the ability to stretch the field, these four defenders in the shallow zone are going to take away a lot of opportunities underneath. So we want to kind of spread the field out by proving that we can at least throw the ball 15, 20 yards downfield, even if we don't complete it. If you do complete it, obviously it's a huge play. So, okay, so we've got three defenders down here covering two routes that are going to the shallow zone. Let's take this defender away because they're on the back side of the play. So we've got 1, 2 defenders where we want to throw, and 1, 2 routes going where we want to throw. That math is even. We don't really like throwing to even. We like to have the advantage. So I'm not going to toss the ball over here. This becomes I'm going to find the deep man that's running free and throw it to the piece of grass that they're running towards. So that's cover one. It's a really good way to stretch the field, to kind of get a feel for what a defense, what a team's going to do to you early in the game. Oh, we need to go over man-to-man too. The reason I almost forgot man-to-man, and we will put it up here just for fun, is that I don't really recommend running deep cross against a man coverage. Now there's ways that in the 11-man air raid, you could see a team like Mississippi State or Texas Tech run Y cross, and they have some tags and ways to get open against the man-to-man. We don't have that. We got kids, youth level football players that if you line up with a corner, linebacker, and everybody's heads up with either a safety back here, or maybe it's an extra blitzer that's coming after the quarterback. If everybody lines up, heads up, you are just betting on your players being able to make one move and then beat the defender in a foot race. And I don't like to bet on a 10, 11, 12-year-old just winning a foot race every time if I don't know exactly who's defending them. So until you get later in the game, maybe you do have a mismatch athletically and you can call this with some confidence, but I'd be calling other things against man-to-man. Mesh specifically would be a great play to kind of probe a little bit and see how good they are athletically before you go call a deep cross against a man-to-man. So, all right, mesh is number 22. Also have a video on that one. So that's deep cross. Ends on a little bit of a bummer where I don't like calling it against man-to-man, but it's a great play to set up some other stuff. You can get some big completions, especially if your quarterback can fit it into a window between zones. You can kind of catch the defense where they're not prepared. So it's a foundational play of the air raid. It's a foundational play of the 5v5 air raid for flag football. And we had a lot of success running this. Really throwing deep, throwing medium, throwing short all over the field. So use it, try it. It's a great play to get an understanding of what your opponent brings to the table and then make some adjustments based on that.